Survival mode is your body's way of protecting you, but it's not healthy to stay stuck there for too long. As somebody who went from being unemployed to getting things back together during the first half of 2025, let's talk about 10 steps to navigating it and how you're going to come out of it. Welcome to my channel. I'm Erica Nicole. If you are new here, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And if you are returning, hey y'all, I know I've been MIA. Stay to the end. I'm going to have a great life update for you guys. So long story short, I worked from home for 3 years and I came into this year unemployed. They cut all the contracts and I was a contract recruiter for a very well-known company. Things was going good till, of course, unemployment hit, which kind of was to be expected because unemployment was happening to a lot of people. Most people was finding themselves unemployed or something went on with their job. So I was not prepared for that. That was also a learning lesson. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Anywho, I accepted a very terrible, shitty job a month later. And I also went back to bartending. Needless to say, both of those jobs took its toll on my mental health. And it was just overall not a good experience. Fast forward to the end of April, I end up in the hospital. I have an emergency procedure done. I'm out of work for almost a week. And honestly, after the whole hospital visit happened, life started to get better. And I mentioned like the whole hospital thing will only happen in another video. So make sure y'all go watch it if you want the story on what happened with that. But surprisingly, after all that, things started to get better. I started working at a new restaurant. The money was residing. It was good for my mental. It wasn't a stressful environment. And I started a new HR job. I currently work downtown in Houston. And it comes with benefits, all the things I need. So yeah, it took about 6 months for things to go from being unemployed to me having 2 sources of income that don't stress me out and is good for my mental and allow me to get back to living the life that I love to live. But we made it. But let's talk about all that I learned through these 6 months. And if you want a realistic perspective of life, I vlogged quite a few vlogs over the past 6 months to just show you the real perspective of how life was going, and it was rough. But let's get into 10 things to keep in mind with being in survival mode and how you're going to navigate it. So step 1, you need to acknowledge what is causing you to be in survival mode. Different things add different stressors to people or put people in autopilot mode. You need to acknowledge it. You cannot fix the problem if you don't acknowledge what is the problem. For me, I immediately knew my main source of income being gone, actually 2 sources of income being gone, because last year I was bartending and I had my work from home job, so I was really getting to the bag. And I had quit bartending before my work from home job ended. I quit that. Well, that ended like 3 or 4 months before my work from home job ended. So I went from having 2 great sources of income paying me every single week. Yes, y'all, the money was residing. To no income. And honestly, I didn't even have enough money like saved for real, for real. That was another life learning lesson. Save your money, y'all. That's a extra bonus tip. But you need to acknowledge what is causing it. For me, I immediately knew financially I was about to be going through it. I had to hurry up and come up with something, especially seeing as unemployment takes 4 to 6 weeks to get approved. So yeah, had to go ahead and identify what is the cause. And for other people, it may be other things. Some people, it may be you working too much, so you feel like you don't got no time at home. You don't have no work-life balance. For some people, it may be you don't have no social life. You need to sit down and really figure out what is putting you in survival mode, autopilot mode. What is making you feel like you are just not your best self right now. Once you recognize that, you'll be able to move forward and start putting some things in place. So if you are in survival mode due to finances or work-life balance or anything in that realm, you need to do step 2, which is cut unnecessary expenses. And this is something y'all gonna probably start seeing a lot of people doing. I've seen so many people start talking about this on social media due to what's going on in the economy. So honestly, whether you're in survival mode or not, in this economy right now, it's smart to do this step right here anyway. Cut unnecessary expenses. Unnecessary expenses could be your monthly maintenance. I have not gotten my nails done in almost a year. I miss it. But I just cannot be spending $500+ on beauty stuff, especially when I can do some of this stuff at home. I do plan on going to get my nails done, at least for my birthday, in a couple weeks. But all of that spending unnecessary money, you got to learn how to do stuff at home or just embrace your natural self. Now's the time to get comfortable with who you truly are without all the wigs, the nails, the lashes, all that. Ain't nothing wrong with this, sis. Cut subscriptions. I didn't realize I was paying $120 a month in subscriptions, so I started itemizing what was coming out of my bank account, and I had to just start cutting it off. Peacock had to go, Netflix had to go, just a lot of the things that you don't realize like that random $9.99 from Apple that you be like, why every time I turn around, Apple is taking $9.99 out of my account. You need to see what this stuff is, and if it's not something that you absolutely need right now, you need to cut it off, and cut it off today. The small things that you don't think is a big deal adds up. Another thing is cut your grocery bill down some. Some of the recipes you like to make on TikTok, it's expensive. You need to be coming up with meals that multiple ingredients can work for multiple meals, or come up with meals that is very resourceful. I know some people don't like it, but spaghetti is a meal. It's going to last you a couple days. Honestly, it could last you the whole week. You got to start getting smart and really considering how can you cut down things that you do not need. And you need to be for real with yourself on what you don't need. Netflix is not a need. Going to get your nails done is not a need. Needs mean life or death. You need somewhere to sleep. You need transportation if you live in a city that doesn't have a good form of community transportation everybody can use. You need a source of income. You need to be for real about what you need. Some of this stuff that we feel like we need, especially due to social media, you just got to go ahead and get prepared to say bye-bye to it. You can get back to it at a later point in time. 3, pick 1 to 2 things that you can do daily, and this goes into focus on what's most important right now. Sometimes when you're in survival mode or you just got a lot going on, it's very easy to get overwhelmed and you realize you really just not getting nothing done. It's important to recognize what needs to actually be getting done and what's something you can do every day, whether it's just 1 or 2 things working towards that. Like, for example, if you know you in credit card debt, realistically, what can you do every day or at least every week that's going to help you work on that? If you realizing, oh my God, my house is a mess, I can't function in clutter, what is something you can do every day? You might need to make your bed. You might need to not eat out. Have a day where you meal prep so you can eat for the rest of the week. Find things that will make your day-to-day life easier. Which then goes into, you need to establish a routine. This is tip number 4. A routine is going to help you establish some kind of balance. It's going to help you be able to navigate the week without feeling so overwhelmed or feel like you don't know what's going on. And a routine is a good way to set clarity for the day. And even if you don't maybe have time to do a full-blown routine, you don't got to do Pilates, matcha, do all this stuff. A simple routine such as getting up 30 minutes before you're supposed to be leaving to go to work, make your bed, wash your face, have a breakfast, and leave so you're not fighting traffic could be something that could easily make your day less chaotic. You gotta do something to help your day start off right. And another thing outside of a routine, I would also suggest a power hour. Sometimes when you are in survival mode and you just got a lot going on, it's easy to get off track or you feel like I just don't have time. Sometimes a power hour is needed where you spend 1 hour, you set a timer, and you hone in on something that needs to get done. Something that is like, I need to get that done right now. Set a timer, 1 hour, see where you get with it, and go from there. But you have to prioritize things that are most important. Things that don't matter right now, forget about it. Like, for example, my car is leased and my lease ends next year. During this time of survival mode, there was no point in me researching, well, what kind of car I'm going to get? Am I going to end up buying a car I currently have? Should I just go some time without a car? That's not a priority right now. At the end of the day, I just need to worry about right now how I was going to make my current car payment, and looking at other cars and anything else outside of what I needed to do right now was just not of a level of importance.
I forgot to mention this one, but please prioritize rest. You are no good to yourself nor the people around you if you are not rested and just running yourself ragged. And I know when you're in survival mode, it's hard to rest because so many things are on your mind and it's on your spirit, and you tend to be very restless and overwhelmed. But take a sleeping pill, take sleepy time tea, do something to make sure you get an adequate amount of rest, because you're going to need it as you are working through this rough season of life.
Tip number 4, you need to put some boundaries in place where you are limiting input. And what I mean by limiting input, this goes as far as social media and the people you are interacting with on a day-to-day basis. Sometimes when you got a lot going on, the outside chatter from people or people questioning you, it's just not healthy. Or at least I can say for me personally, when I have stuff going on, I do limit my communication with my friends and my family, because I just can't stand somebody keep asking me, well, what's going on? How are you feeling today? Baby, life is on my ass, and life has been on my ass. Unless you are about to cut a check for me or do something that's going to alleviate what I got going on, please don't keep asking me a bunch of questions. And sometimes during this chapter in life, it could be isolating, but sometimes that's just what it is. You got to tough it out and see it through on the other side. And if you are one of them people that you can take other people's opinions, or you can take confiding in other people, do your thing, 21. But for some of us that when life is lifing, you just get ghost on people, that's totally okay. And sometimes that's the best thing you can do for your mental health. And as far as social media, it's very easy to get online and see other people living a great life, whether it's people have kids and you not able to have kids right now, whether it's people living in a high rise and you figuring out how you finna pay your rent right now. You need to, one, either get off social media, limit your time on social media, or you need to change your algorithm. You probably should stop watching the girls who are doing the luxury unboxing and going on these trips, and you might should then tune into people who are figuring out life just as you, or tune into somebody that is realistic of where you can be at in a couple months. But continuing to watch some of the same content you used to watch before survival mode, that's probably not good for your mental at all. Limit the input. Monitor the social media. Stop talking to certain people so much if they're not going to do anything to help you. 3. What? Not 3. What am I on? 5, 6? I don't know. I'm going to put it on the screen, y'all. You need to do something that's going to give you a dopamine hit. Dopamine is very important, and as somebody who studies psychology, I got a bachelor's degree in psychology, y'all. I encourage everybody to do some kind of study of human behavior and of your brain. But dopamine is very, very important, and dopamine is something that can often help you keep going. For me, something that gives me a dopamine hit is reading. That's probably why we halfway through the year, I've read 65 books this year so far. It is something that really just helps me, like when I'm feeling down, when I feel like I just can't. It gives me this burst of happiness, burst of energy where I'm able to get up and keep on going. You need to find you a dopamine hit. And honestly, the dopamine hit needs to be something reasonable. The dopamine hit don't need to be you going to go to the mall and ball out. If you financially going through it, that's not a dopamine hit. You just created a bigger problem for yourself. Find something that is very reasonable and hopefully low effort. For example, maybe a glass of wine after work, maybe an extended bubble bath, maybe reading a book, maybe going to your favorite park or going to a cafe, maybe going to happy hour. Find something that is going to give you a dopamine hit or something that you just enjoy that is low cost, but is going to help you keep your sanity while you are navigating survival mode. The next tip, take care of your mental. If you can financially afford it, I always encourage everybody to seek therapy. Therapy for Black girls is a great one. Of course, most people know about BetterHelp.com, but make sure you prioritize your mental. You could really go down a dark path if you don't reel in your thoughts. If you can't afford a therapist, I recommend yoga. You could go to a yoga studio if you can afford it. You could do yoga at home. They got plenty of people who do yoga videos on YouTube. You can go for a walk at the park. You can start going to the gym if you don't like walking outside. You can also journal. There's another app my therapist put me on to. It's called How We Feel. I'm going to put it on the screen too. That's a good app to acknowledge where you're currently feeling in that moment and actually getting into why you're feeling like that. So do something that's going to help you navigate whatever you are going through mentally. And that might be too where you call up certain friends. If you can unload on certain people, do that as well. This one is a very controversial one. And if you watch the B. Simone and her friend talking about this, I saw this topic trending a lot when it happened. But ask for help. This is a very unpopular one, but if you got people in your life that could help you, or they can buy your groceries for the week and you ain't got to eat ramen noodles all week, baby, take the help. Do not be too prideful to ask for help or take whatever help is given to you. When you are in survival mode, you need all that you can get. Now is not the time to be prideful. Like, no, I'm not saying go out here and just ask everybody or people that you know good and well ain't got it. But if you know you tired of eating that pot of spaghetti all week and you know your mama or your friend could give you $100 and you can go to the grocery store, girl, take that money and go eat well for a week, okay? Don't suffer in silence if you honestly don't have to. And this is coming from somebody that I tend to deal with things on my own. Honestly, a good amount of my friends didn't even know half the stuff that went on this year until things started to get better and I felt comfortable talking about it. But I also knew that if things really, really did get like that bad to where I feel like, oh my God, I might get evicted from my apartment, I could call some people and they were going to help me figure some shit out. So if you need the help that bad and you got people around that can help you, take the help. Don't be too prideful. And honestly, getting help, especially sooner rather than later, could honestly help you hurry up and get out of survival mode a whole lot quicker. A lot of people who do end up getting it together, or it may seem like, oh, that wasn't that bad for them, it's because people have somebody helping them. I can say for me personally, I can always count on my parents. I don't like to do that because they got their own bills, their own stuff going on. But I do know when push comes to shove, I can count on my parents for something. So you got people in your life that can help you, take the help. And last but not least, once you have a routine in place, you are getting certain things done, it's time to create an exit strategy. You can't stay in this mode forever. You will end up crashing and burning. I honestly think that played a part in how I ended up in the hospital like I did, because your body gets tired. You need to prioritize getting some rest, and you also need to create a strategy of how you're going to get out of it. And the strategy also goes back to tip number one, what is causing it. Until you recognize what is causing it, you can't really acknowledge how to fix it. So make sure you recognize what is causing you to be in survival mode, and then you can start working on the exit strategy. For me, I always knew it was finances. I knew once I got a better job, then I could stop working my part-time job as much. I could also start saving some money. I could start getting certain bills caught back up. Yeah, you gotta recognize what's causing it. If it's a work-life balance issue, you need to recognize what is more important to you, being at work more or being at home more. If being at home more is important, you might need to get your bills set up to where if you decide to work a little less, you're gonna be straight. So now, where am I currently at after everything that is happening? Mentally, I'm really getting in a better place. I'm enjoying my new job. I can't believe I'm working in person and working downtown. I feel like a true city girl now. I've started implementing City Girl Fridays, where every Friday when I get off from work, I go and do something, because I don't want to get caught up in the cycle of just working all the time, because I am still working my restaurant job on the weekends. So going out and seeing the city is great. It's a good way to unload after a week at work. I'm also getting ready to turn 30. I have started planning my 30th birthday plans. I will be celebrating with my girls in North Carolina, so I'm looking forward to that. After my birthday, I'm going to get very serious about handling credit cards and just getting my credit back together, because I'm not going to lie, my credit did take a hit during survival mode because I was paying what was important and not paying no mind to certain bills. So credit repair will start after my birthday in August. But yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm in way better spirits. I'm enjoying life again. I'm not crying every other day. My health is good. Overall, I'm good. I think for the first time in a long time, I feel like life is going to be great. I can't believe I'm going to be turning 30 in less than 2 months. And I felt a range of feelings regarding turning 30. At first, I felt disappointed and sad in myself, because that was back when just too much was going on. I'm like, I can't believe I'm going into my 30s with my life being a chaotic mess. And now I'm feeling like I'm glad that certain things went the way it went, because I have a different level of gratitude going into 30s. And I just want my 30s to be full of nothing but happiness and great memories. I don't want to get too hyper-focused on my career, because truthfully, I just want to enjoy. I want to enjoy my life. I want my 30s to be a good time. And best of all, I just really pray that this last cycle of survival mode really is the last cycle, at least the last cycle financially of a survival mode, because it was really rough, it was really hard, and I'm glad, like always, God saw me through it, Lord. Woo! It was a trying 6 months, y'all, but better days are finally here. So to wrap up this video, if you're in survival mode, I recommend following some of the things that I mentioned, and definitely pray about it. If you are a spiritual person, I do recommend you pray. I know while you're going through it, you feel like God is not hearing you, but I promise you He is. He's going to see you through it. Plenty of people are unemployed right now. If you get on social media, especially TikTok, plenty of people are sharing their unemployment journey, so no, you are not alone, but one day things get better. Stick to it and know that God got you, and make sure you follow for more great content. Thank you for tuning in, and I hope everybody has a blessed week.